So I want to talk about the number one way to prepare for a live performance. And it's not going to be what you think that I'm going to say, most probably. So I've got 2 live shows coming up very soon, and so I thought this was a good time to talk about this topic. What you're probably expecting me to say is something to do with preparation. So that could be warming your voice up, that could be having a really good solid vocal technique behind you, that could be knowing your material inside and out. Now this can be applied to singers or speakers, but essentially anyone that's standing in front of an audience. And this is all important. However, you can't create a live situation in a rehearsal environment. You can't create a live situation from a rehearsal environment. This is really, really important. A live performance will bring challenges that you would never face in a rehearsal environment, which seems obvious. However, my top tip for preparing for a live performance is to do as many live performances as you can, whether that is singing in front of people or speaking in front of people. So there are 4 main things that I see that a live performance brings that a rehearsal environment very rarely brings as challenges. So first of all, nerves. Now, I don't care how prepared you are, I think everyone feels nervous when they stand on a stage in front of people. I certainly do. And the thing is, it manifests itself in different ways for different people. So for example, with myself, I tend to forget words, and I've got quite good at making up lyrics. I probably shouldn't be admitting this right now. However, I have got quite good at making up words. But for many people, it shows itself in very different ways. I mean, some people's voice is so trembling that they can't speak, they can't sing, their arms are shaking, their hands are shaking, their feet are shaking, their legs are shaking. And the thing is, you only really experience those nerves in a live environment if you only ever practice on your own or perhaps in front of family members. You would never really experience your nerves. And the thing is, nerves can be used to actually enhance your performance if you know what to expect. It's really just lots of energy, and it's just actually using it in a really positive way. But you have to practice that. It doesn't just come naturally. So number 2 is you can't stop. Now, I say you can't stop because of course you can. I mean, if you were starting a song and it was a complete train wreck, you probably would stop. However, I would say in most cases, you probably won't stop. You will probably keep going despite things falling apart or mistakes, or if you forget your words, or you come in at the wrong spot, or you're out of tune or something, or there could be technical issues as well. And once again, as with nerves, it's almost expecting things to go wrong, because something always does, and it might not be what you expect it to be, but the more experience you have with live performance, the more you get used to handling different things that can go wrong. And it really is just experience and just getting more comfortable rather than being really shocked when something happens. Number 3 is acoustics. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an acoustics expert because I'm not. However, in my experience of live performing, when you have a room full of people, it sounds acoustically completely different to when you're practicing on your own. If you're practicing in a small room, in a large room, whether there's one or a couple of people, it is completely different to having a room full of people. And people absorb sound, so suddenly it sounds very different. And even when I do sound checks and I'm in an empty venue, it's so different to then having the venue full of people. And again, that's not something you can ever practice in a rehearsal environment. So you have to actually put yourself in live situations to get used to what it sounds like to have a room full of people. And finally, and I haven't put these in any particular order, but this is one that always catches me out every single time. And this is air, which sounds kind of weird. So on stage, when you're under lights, it is very dry on stage. And I always forget this every single time I do a big show. and I'm like, wow, the air is so dry. I feel like I'm in the Sahara Desert, and it's just very, very, very dry being on stage with all the lights and everything on you. Now, if you're not prepared for that, you could find that your voice doesn't feel as effortless and free and easy as it normally would. And so the way to get around that is to expect it and to actually start drinking a lot more water in the lead up to your show. So don't do it an hour before, but a few days before, start drinking more water. And then on stage, take water with you. And don't be afraid to drink water between songs or between, if you're talking. I mean, this all applies to public speaking as well. So if you are speaking as well, don't be afraid to take water with you. So I hope this has given you some food for thought. And if you've got any questions or comments, please type them below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I hope this has helped you. And really, my advice is just to get out there and perform any opportunity you can, whether it's speaking or whether it's singing. Get out there and you will become a better performer by performing more. Thank you.